Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is April the 4th, 2019. Strong hand, offended by selling. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Be a unique beast. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. All right, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's in 25 hours. 6 p.m. New York time, 3 p.m. in LA. This week in Bitcoin, Jeet will be on the show. We got some other guests juggling it around. It'll be great. Check out all the links below for everything I talk about in this video. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. All my podcasts are at sportsmeister.com, an easy to remember URL. They're all these videos are turned into podcasts. This is my second show of the day. Actually, I was on UK Bitcoin Masters show, 4 hours ago now. It is linked to below. Click on it. Subscribe to his channel. He's in the chat right now. All right. Vention's in the chat right now also, and I have a quote about Vention coming up. So prepare yourself, Vention. It's hilarious. It's from somebody else who's in the chat right now, and it's a good one. Also, yeah, this shirt is from the guys in Melbourne, the Blockchain Center. Good job, Melbourne, Australia. They love Bitcoin in Melbourne, Australia. Pound that like button, Australia. You're all asleep right now, but if you're awake, hello. Moving on. The SEC, everyone's talking about the SEC nonsense about the ICOs. And first off, it is a reminder why sticking with Bitcoin is just so relaxing. You don't have to worry about the SEC cracking down on the ICO that you own and it being illegal or legal, or the person who started the ICO going to jail or just scamming you, or the 90% chance that the ICO is a total it's never going to actually happen. But I give on a certain level, the SEC tried to clarify the situation with ICOs, which you can, and I try to interpret things in a positive way, add some stability for traditional investors when they look at the overall cryptocurrency market, because sadly ICOs are part of the overall cryptocurrency market. And if those who are on the sideline, who are freaked out by seeing ICOs being part of this crypto market and aren't buying Bitcoin because of that, maybe they'll feel better that the SEC had a statement, and maybe these were good first steps in toward making sense of the ICO situation. I'm trying to spin it in a positive way, but we've got a link below. It says, "Crypto lawyer, SEC's ICO guidelines just illegal Nothingburger." I mean, it's a government institution. Of course, half the time they're just going to shoot out Nothingburgers. Don't hold your breath with the SEC making like a real firm statement and just a clear definition on. I mean, nothing much changed, but maybe psychologically some things did change yesterday. Pound that like button. So Usagi Nami. I butcher your name. I'm so sorry. I recognize your name. I know you because you're always in the chat and you're awesome. He had a great quote yesterday, a great strong hand quote. "I will sell my Bitcoin when Vention gets married." Now, if those of you familiar with Vention and his YouTube channel, which you should check out, that means Usagami's got a really strong hand. He's not selling his Bitcoin until Vention. He'll never sell his Bitcoin. And that's a great attitude to take. It's a great attitude to take. I'm never selling this stuff. That's, some people, well, I'll sell after 2024 halving. For me, again, you all know, I have said for many a year now, the earliest possible time that I would sell any of my precious Bitcoin for fiat would be after the 2020 halving, because I've always wanted to place it in people's minds, have that long-term goal of the 2020 halving. And look, it's not that long away. It's not that far away now. But, the goal of not selling until Vention gets married, that's even better. Okay. But I know everyone's got personal situations. Everyone's, make your own goals. Just be a long-term thinker and don't react to all the crazy stuff that goes on day to day in the market. That's impulsive. And we talk about that a lot. Now, speaking about things going on day to day in the market, obviously there have been fiat freaks that I guess have been freaking out today because, after we had the fiat price went up by a lot. So it goes down some too. It's to be expected. Welcome to Bitcoin, you rookie, if you don't know about that already. But yeah, it's you got to have a really strong hand when it comes to don't let the price. But what I wanted to bring up is that for a while during the ramp up in fiat price, BitStamp and Bitfinex were almost equivalent in their price of Bitcoin. Bitfinex, as of late, the last month or two, the Bitfinex price is like $100, like $80, $75 higher than the BitStamp one. And the BitStamp caught up for a bit. Now, this might mean, and it's good when they're closer together, I think. Again, it adds some legitimacy to the market. People are like, well, wait a second, why is one exchange more than the other? Now we all know about Tether. And that's the reason why. But not everybody who looks at Bitcoin knows about Tether. And they'll just say, well, why are two big exchanges that are listed everywhere, why are their prices so different? Well, they might have come together a bit because people were buying a lot on Bitstamp. The people buying on Bitstamp were using dollars, obviously, because you don't use Tether there. And maybe a lot of people sitting on the sidelines decided, well, I'm going to use my dollars now. So they didn't. People who don't have Tether, people who have Tether are veterans, okay? People who have Tether are traders. They are traders. So they didn't really ramp it up as much as maybe people who are not everyday traders. So, some people might have FOMO'd a bit and said, oh, time to get in now. And of course, we know that the big buyer that played quite a role in the price going up, $800. That person was not using Bitfinex. That person was using Bitstamp. So that alone probably helped propel the price toward the Bitfinex price. Now they're slowly moving away again. So I guess, well, who knows? Things that the traders are taking over again. The veteran traders are playing their large role as usual. But hey, sideline people with your dollars, this is the time you come back in. You don't come in when the FOMO is going on. Anyway, you'll never learn. If you're a FOMO person, if you buy during FOMO, you're never going to learn. Or maybe you will. Okay. But it's harder for them to learn. They're impulsive, generally. I don't like to make generalizations about people, but I mean, facts are facts. Check out the stats. Now, okay, the price went down, of course. The prices went down. And so don't freak out, people. This is when you have your strong hand. And if this is a weed out moment. It's a weed out moment again. Oh, well, some people say it'll never go back up to 5,000 again. So I better sell now. Better sell that. No. That's not the attitude you take. You're being weeded out. You will regret. And again, if your hand is starting to get weak and you are a fiat freak, if you think about the feeling you had on April 2nd when you saw that like $1,000 candle, okay? How the exuberance you experienced. Think about that feeling for a moment. And yeah, you're not feeling it now. The price has gone down, but you will feel that again. You will feel that again. And the way you will appreciate that feeling the most in the future is if you don't sell if you have your Bitcoin then. Because if you sell it now, you might not have it. It'll be a horrible feeling if that $1,000 candle happens and you're stuck in fiat. Oh, God. It'll feel like that candle is going up. Well, pound that like button and don't get pounded by that $1,000 candle. Oh, that would hurt. Anyway, so let's move on to some Lightning Network innovation here. Lightning Network innovation. This Boltz. What is this Boltz thing? I'm not even quite sure. This Boltz being built on top of the Lightning Network is to help increase the liquidity of the Lightning Network because there's been some issues with liquidity. And at the same time, you can own this. Well, let me read you the tweet by the Boltz people. And again, this is linked to below if you want to check out what this Boltz thing is. It's innovation on top of the Lightning Network. We are excited to announce the alpha, be careful, people, it's an alpha, the alpha release of Boltz, a trust minimized account-free exchange built on top of the Lightning Network. Check out our blog for more info or try a swap on boltz.exchange. Okay, so it helps with Lightning liquidity issues. You anonymously swap Bitcoin for Litecoin. And again, I look at something like this, and it's a reminder that, I love to see the innovation, first of all, that, but at the same time, it is involving Litecoin a little bit here. And it reminds me that Litecoin, you can use the Lightning Network on Litecoin also, and that in the medium term, this will be good for Litecoin. I mean, we're going to see some major Lightning Network expansion on Bitcoin, and it might become like a flavor of the month, but a legitimate flavor of the month. It's not an altcoin, Lightning Network. People really might start talking about it hardcore, and it really might innovate a lot of things for a lot of people. And if Lightning Network, Litecoin will be picked up in that glory, because people will be like, wait a second, Litecoin also has Lightning Network. And again, I'm saying medium term is I don't know when people are going to start freaking out in a good way about Lightning Network on Bitcoin. I don't know when that's going to happen. It might not happen until 2021. But at the same time, Litecoin will still have it at that point, and it'll probably pump. But at the same time, eventually, I think it'll become obvious to people like, well, if Lightning Network's on the Bitcoin and it's so awesome, why do we really need to be messing with Litecoin also? But maybe someone will create some innovative tie-in where Litecoin will always be important because it's tied into Lightning Network and Bitcoin. I don't know. Cross-atomic swaps, all this stuff is the future. I cannot predict the future. And I'm happy I cannot predict the future. I want to live in the future. I want to experience the freaking future, baby. And as you can tell, I'm pumped about the future. I do know that Bitcoin is the rock and it's the king, and it is the one that they all shoot for, and it's on the top, and that there'll be some top tier altcoins, and yeah, Litecoin will probably be a top tier altcoin. Okay, speculation versus utility, want versus need in the Bitcoin space. We've got a guy, Passport Capital, has this tweet. At Passport Capital, we continue to observe a divergence between local Bitcoin's volume in developed and emerging markets. Now pay attention. Volume in developed markets is tracking price. That's speculation. While volume in emerging markets has stabilized and is growing despite the price, and that's utility. So let me explain. In developed markets like the United States, when the price starts to spike, the volume goes up quite a bit. People there's FOMO, there's excitement. It's there's a bunch of speculators. It's all about the price. That's what people care about in the Western world, in the developed world. But in the emerging markets, they need it. Okay, so when the price goes up, it doesn't matter. The volume is the same as when the price goes down. They're actually using it to protect their wealth, okay? They're actually using it to get money out of their country, to get value out of their country, all right? So it doesn't matter what the darn price is of Bitcoin in Venezuela. They're still buying it at the same rate. Now, if something horrific happens in Venezuela, then that makes them want to buy it. They need Bitcoin even more. You see the difference? You see that want versus need here. Right now, in the Western world, we want it. We don't need it right now. We really don't need it. I mean, deathly need it like they do in some of these countries. Now, yeah, in the long term, you need it to protect yourself from inflation, okay? You do in that term. But like right this second, I got to get my wealth out of the United States. No, you don't need it. Right this second, they're confiscating my wealth. No, you don't need it right this second. But I mean, it can happen at any moment. But very interesting tweet, and it made me think, and I thought it was a good way of explaining everything. All right, BTC Benny has a tweet out here. What's this about? 2017 was just the tip of the iceberg in terms of irrational exuberance. I don't think we've come anywhere close to our dot-com moment. Over the next few years, please try to use your head and don't get caught holding bags full of pets.com when S hits the fan. Okay, and under it is a screenshot of Dogecoin price jumping, and it being number 24 on CoinMarketCap. he's repeating something that I have said all along. Yeah, I don't think 2017 was the cryptocurrency space has not experienced its .com moment yet. We are into the future will bring some incredible pumps. But again, you do not want to be holding an altcoin. You don't want to be holding the equivalent of pets.com when the game of musical chairs is over. Okay. Now, again, at the same time, I'm saying, there some of these altcoins are going to spike again. But that doesn't mean they are legit. That means that doesn't mean they're not pets.com, some of these things. And you don't know when the musical chair game ends. And that's why you don't FOMO on altcoins, okay? Yeah, sure. There are going to be plenty of pumps. There are going to be plenty of Doge pumps. Don't feel you need to get into it. Don't feel like you're missing out on anything. What's happening, if you FOMO on altcoins and you get into altcoins, okay? Never FOMO on altcoins. Then what you're eventually going to miss out on is Bitcoin. FOMO on altcoins leads you to missing out on Bitcoin. Pound that like button. Don't FOMO on altcoins. Yeah, that's one of my new sayings. Okay, now we're gonna talk about an altcoin because it's a crypto dividend of Bitcoin, and people ask about it, and people rag on it because Andy Hoffman's behind it and everything. Andy Hoffman, he's a controversial figure. He'll be returning to the show soon, though. He'll be back on the show soon. But yeah, B-Rhodium, which he's a big promoter of, they're actually on CoinMarketCap.com right now. So yeah, another altcoin on CoinMarketCap, but it's one a lot of you have heard of because you got it for free and because it was an airdrop it was a crypto dividend of Bitcoin. For those hold, and again, I do like crypto dividends of Bitcoin. I like to get them and I like to turn them into Bitcoin, and then I pound that like button. So, and finally, yesterday, something that I forgot to mention yesterday, I was talking about Bcash pumping and something that I've said before, but it's not dying, people. But it shouldn't matter to you. If you're a true believer in Bitcoin, you shouldn't care if Bcash dies or stays alive. But what we experienced yesterday, both with Bcash and Litecoin, both of them aren't going anywhere. Okay, and will Bcash be a top tier one forever and ever? I can't say that, but they've got a guy who markets them, a big name, a huge name. The mainstream media still loves that guy. They still call him Jesus, and he's king of the trolls. But in this small little crypto world that we live in, that's enough right there to keep it going. And he's got plenty of followers, and there's plenty of 80%ers out there that think it's the real Bitcoin. I mean, the fact that there's something called BSV with followers shows you that Bcash itself, which BSV forked from, can survive quite a bit. And that's fine. That's fine, people. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you that Bcash does well on some days. That's great. That's great for them. Good for them. But it's not dying. It's not going to just disappear off the face of the earth. It's just not. Get used to it. I mean, that's some tough love from the Bitcoin Meister. But it shouldn't bother you. You should just be happy with your Bitcoin. Strong hand. And do we have how many more topics here? Yeah, one more. This is it. Conclusionary thought here. This is from I don't know, a Twitter dude. I don't know his name. It's linked to below. I think people underestimate how many holders have been diligently cost averaging every week for the last year and a half. Well, I have no proof of this. I would hope that there are some guys that are holders that have that mentality or long-term thinkers and that don't have enough Bitcoin yet and have been cost averaging every week. And what will happen is if there were a lot of people that did that, there were a lot of guys that had 3 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin, and that all this time during this so-called winter, they were dollar cost averaging and they were slowly acquiring more. Then in the long run, it's a case of the rich getting richer. Okay? And that is a great thing because it was holders. You were doing the smart thing. You had your savings, you wanted to save even more during these supposed down times. And you will be, one day it'll look like, man, that guy has 10 Bitcoin. He is so wealthy. And then people will be complaining, yeah, man, he was acquiring it during 2019 and 2018 when no one knew to do it. and he was already rich. He already had 5 back then. It's so unfair that someone who had 5 back then has 8 now or has 10 now. Dude, the rich get richer. You see how it's a good thing? When you look at it in that perspective, it was the smart get richer. The people who are diligent, the people who have strong hands get richer. So I do hope that people who had 5, 6, 3, 2, 1 Bitcoin this entire time were acquiring more little pieces every single week and became 10 Bitcoiners or 15 Bitcoiners or whatever. So that in the future, all those fudsters are going to say the rich got richer back in 2019. Those people who had 8, now they have 15. Those people who had 2, and it's not fair. Well, guess what? It is fair. Pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the links below. Bang that bell button. Click on those squares. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Los Angeles time. This Week in Bitcoin. Tune in. Spread the word on social media about this channel, TechBalt, TECHBALT. Bye.